Definitely something that they wanted to ask her about, specifically Supervisor Bill Gates. He was taking the lead in filling this open seat. And it's well known that following the 2020 and the 2022 elections, he and other members of the county board had received death threats. So he took the unusual step of recording his interviews with these candidates for this job, including Bolick.
I feel like they are going to be the reason why we lose both the House and the Senate.
Returning lawmaker Shauna Bolick blasting the conservative Freedom Caucus and its leader, the Republican state senator from Queen Creek, Jake Hoffman.
In 2021, I had many confrontations with Hoffman, so I'm not part of their wing. I might agree with the principles of what their group is supposed to be, but I just don't support their tactics.
Maricopa County Supervisor Bill Gates recorded her comments during her recent interview for an open state Senate seat. At the time, Gates and the board were considering Bolick and two other candidates nominated to fill the vacancy. Bolick and Hoffman did not respond to our request for an interview, and Gates declined to talk on camera. In response to Bolick's comments, Hoffman recently told the Arizona Capital Times, quote, attacking nearly a third of the legislative majority unprovoked is neither smart nor effective and risks putting that member's entire legislative portfolio on unstable footing.
2020 was rigged. It was financed by billionaires.
That was then State Representative Bolick during a committee hearing last year. In the wake of the 2020 election, Bolick proposed several new election laws. One would have allowed the state legislature to overturn the will of the voters in presidential elections. Bolick's efforts eventually led to this controversial hearing at the Capitol, where a Texas-based group called True the Vote presented lawmakers with unproven claims of election fraud. Gates asked Bolick specifically about that group.
So what's your opinion of True the Vote now?
It's less than what it was before.
And just to be clear here, that Gates told Bolick that before they really started talking and interviewing that he was going to interview that conversation because he wanted a record of what happened during those interviews.
And to be clear, Dennis, she was one of a couple candidates the County Board of Supervisors was considering to fill that open seat, right?
Yeah, and there was a couple other candidates. They felt like the board felt like that she was the best qualified candidate just because of her prior legislative experience. And during that interview, they also talked about some other things, some other issues down at the Capitol, particularly dealing with the Freedom Caucus. The Freedom Caucus has proposed breaking up Maricopa County into 4 different pieces. Bolick criticized Hoffman for that bill, so they spoke a little bit about that as well. So
she'll serve out the remainder of the term till 24.
Yeah, well, the remainder of the year until 24. She'll be back re-election next year.
We'll see it.
There you go.
Thanks, Dennis.